Hey, what's going on guys? Today we are doing episode 23 of the Fortnite Mythbusters. In today's episode, we are doing a ton more myths that consist of the brand new shopping cart item that was recently added into Fortnite. I know only 2 days ago I posted the last episode of the Fortnite Mythbusters and you guys are smashing the support on this series, so I decided why not bring out a back-to-back episode for you guys because a lot of you just seem to love this series. Anyways guys, I will be giving away 1,000 V-Bucks on my Twitter account. I'm swapping over to Twitter because a lot of people do end up thinking that if it is on YouTube, the giveaways are automatically fake, and they are not fake, so move on over to Twitter. That is where the giveaway will be hosted. On Twitter, it'll be way easier to do than YouTube, even though YouTube's not too much of a stress. On Twitter, it is really easy to do because there are a ton of random retweet pickers, so it is super easy to choose the winner that way. If you guys are interested, make sure to go check out my Twitter in the description to see the giveaway, and without further ado, let's get right on in to today's video. To begin, the first myth is, are you able to use the jetpack while pushing the shopping cart? This is one of those myths that if it was actually possible, you would see it all over YouTube on those compilation pages. Sadly, when you do have a jetpack and you do press space to try and fly and jump, it won't work. It'll just push the cart straight forward. Now, if you're wondering if it will work in the basket, when you are in the front and you press space, it'll automatically just dismount you from the cart. So sadly, you are not able to use your jetpack while riding or even pushing a shopping cart. The next myth is, what happens when you push a shopping cart off the map while someone is riding inside of it? This one was super requested and honestly really fun and funny to do. To set this up, all what I did is kind of make a little ledge off the side of the map with some wood, and I pushed my friend off the edge. What made this better is that he was doing a dance while he was falling, so his character was literally straight sideways and still dancing, but when he did hit the water, his character did a little bounce and he was crawling on top of the water, which is pretty weird. The strangest part about this is that when the cart actually hit the water, it did a little bounce which launched him up, then he hit the water and was knocked on the ground and still floating on top of the water. Sadly, he was not able to crawl on the water for too long because about after a second, he automatically died. This was pretty cool to see because honestly, when you are playing a duos with a friend and you jump off the map, you won't have the chance to be knocked down on the ground, you will automatically die, so that was weird to see. The next myth is, will the shopping cart bounce if it lands on the bouncy tires? This one, I'm sure all of you guys already know the answer, but I decided to test it out anyways for possibly even that one person who does not know about this, and I'm sure a lot of people are curious. To set this up, I made a little ledge over the bouncy tires and I went down below and I just edited out the floor beneath the shopping cart so it'll just fall straight onto the tires. Sadly, when the shopping cart did fall onto the tires, it just slid off, but what was weird is that it actually made the little bouncy noise that it usually makes even if a player jumps on top of it. Definitely lots of potential here that has been lost. The next myth is a little bit of a long one. If you use an impulse grenade after you take an anti-gravity crystal, will you fly extra far when connected to the cart? So to sum it all up, will the anti-gravity crystals actually be in effect when you are using the shopping cart? This one was super surprising because when I used a crystal and I threw an impulse grenade, luckily I was able to catch the cart just last second and it launched me really far. Now, of course, in order to do this, you have to have pretty good timing because right here, you can see I did not get it, but the cart still did launch pretty far. This was really cool to see, and honestly, that very first time I jumped so far, definitely a lot of stuff you could do here if you could maybe like launch yourself with the crystal, fly extra high, swap to the basket, and get like a no-scope. That would be insane. The next myth is, will the fire hydrant still launch your player when you are connected to a shopping cart? In game, when testing this out, this was definitely very challenging to do because I mean, all of the fire hydrants that I could find, they were so oddly placed, it was never easy to just land straight on the fire hydrant while pushing the cart. I tried multiple different fire hydrants, putting the stairs in different ways, and I was never actually able to land on top of the fire hydrant, but I did end up getting very close, and occasionally I would hear kind of the little splash noise that it usually would make if you were a player jumping on top of the fire hydrant. One time in particular, my character was fully sideways and the body actually landed on the fire hydrant where the water is, and that is one time where it did make the splash noise, so I wonder if it kind of wanted to do the effect, but the shopping cart just kind of canceled it out. I have no clue, but definitely some more lost potential here, similar to the bouncy tires. The next myth is, if you jump out of the shopping cart right before you hit the ground, will you take no fall damage? Now, sometimes you will not take fall damage if you are in the shopping cart, like if you land on the nose of it. I heard sometimes you won't take fall damage, but there is another thing that a lot of people were questioning. If you jump out of the cart right before you hit the ground, will you still take fall damage? Because it kind of cancels out the fall speed. To do this, I built up pretty high to the point where if you do jump off, you will automatically die of fall damage no matter what. I jumped off, and right before I hit the ground, I dismounted from the shopping cart and I just kind of fell down. It seemed like it lost all of the speed, but you still do die of fall damage. This was a bummer to see because it did look like my player did land on the ground perfectly fine, and then the game actually registered that I was dying of fall damage. The next myth is, are you able to move a basketball or a soccer ball with the shopping cart? This one was super annoying to do because every time I would land here, I would just get one pumped and it was just never a great experience. But we ended up being able to hit the basketball around with the shopping cart. This was pretty cool to see and honestly really fun. You could now have legit soccer matches with shopping carts, so no more of that cheating stuff where you're building walls in front of your friends. When private matches are released, we totally should have a 8v8 on the soccer field. The next myth is, what happens when an airdrop lands on top of a shopping cart? This clip was sent in to me by a fellow subscriber and a Twitter follower, Deado Survivor. All credit goes to him for doing this because I was unable to do this on my own. It is so hard to do. But when the supply drop landed on the shopping cart, it automatically stopped in its place. It acted like it was not able to hit the ground. And when you would move the shopping cart out from under it, sadly you were not able to move the airdrop around, but it did teleport straight down to the ground. That definitely was a bummer to see. I would love to see someone pushing around a supply drop around the entire map. Just imagine that. Anyways guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, make sure to leave a like. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure to turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I upload or do go live, and I will see you guys next time.